Hello, I'm Beverly. My YouTube channel is Becoming Bev, and my Instagram is Becoming Bev1. So, a few weeks ago, my friend Kevin from the YouTube channel 30 and a Wake Up posted a tour of my van. It's been amazing. the The video has 155,000 views. It's been live for a little over 2 weeks, and I'm really blown away at the response. So because of that video, I've gotten some requests to post more content and maybe even do my own YouTube channel. So I'm considering it. It's taken me a while to do this. I am going to admit I'm pretty intimidated by the whole thing. That's the number one excuse. The second excuse that I used was I needed some audio equipment. So I ordered some of that and I have it now. And then the third excuse I was using not to do it was that I had a black eye. So I don't know if you can still kind of see the remnants of my black eye. I'll tell you how that happened. But I was kind of waiting for that black eye to heal a little bit. So what I want to talk about today is, first of all, why I chose the name Becoming Bev. So I feel like women my age, I'm 57, I'll be 58 in just a couple of weeks, many women my age come to a point in their lives where they need to reinvent themselves. So maybe for some women, they've been a mom and a wife their whole life, and the children are grown now, and it's really a time to ask themselves the question, if I'm not a mom and I don't have all these responsibilities, what do I want to do with my life? So I found myself in that exact situation about 4 years ago. I went through a divorce, a really traumatic divorce that left me with no family responsibilities, no job responsibilities, and a revenue stream from a business that I had created years before that. So I got the opportunity to really reinvent myself, and I want to talk about some of the things that were game changers for me. So the first thing is I read the book, Mama Gina's Book of Womanly Arts, and got myself involved in a year-long program with 100 women. I went through Mastery, and then I went through a course called Creation. That was absolutely a game changer for me. It helped me reclaim more of who I am, and to stop the body hate, the body negativity, and to just really own my feminine and to embrace that as a positive thing. Like, I've always thought you had to work really hard and that sort of thing, and while there are absolutely times in your life that you need to do that, there are also times in your life where you just need to really sink into your feminine and become that magnetic feminine energy. So that was one thing that changed. The second thing that changed is I met someone at a really low point in my life. Like, I really felt like I was at rock bottom. And this person kind of helped me see that, possibly there's a trampoline down there at rock bottom. So even though I hit it, I could just, hit the bottom and bounce back up. So he was kind of my rocket fuel that helped me bounce back up. So I'm super thankful for him. And then the third thing that happened was my bucket list. So I was having a conversation with my daughter, and she says, "Mom, what are you going to do?" And it was a really great question because I really had no idea at this point, nothing. I had nothing to do. So we started talking about this guy that she met, Sebastian Terry. And she met Sebastian at Burning Man, who he was traveling around the world checking things off of this crazy bucket list that he created. He calls it 100 things. And Sebastian's story is pretty fascinating. He was, a young man, early 20s, lost a really close friend and started questioning what he was doing with his life. He was kind of following what society thought he should do, which was go to college, get a job, get a girlfriend, get married, buy a house, have a baby. And Sebastian decided that he didn't want to do any of those things. So he came up with this crazy bucket list, 100 things. And he's written a book now. He's had a television special about himself. And now he helps other people check things off of their list and really encourages people to take this on. So my daughter says, Mom, why don't you write a list like Sebastian's? So I did. And it took me a couple of months to write the list. The first 20 things come pretty easy. Like everybody has 20 or 30 things kind of rolling around in their head. And the rest of the list took a while. It took me 2 months just to write the list, like taking it on like a full-time job. And it really became kind of a spiritual journey for me. First of all, to give myself permission to even think that maybe, possibly, could do some of these things. It's like I didn't get to travel when I was younger. I had my daughter when I was 18 years old, and I was a single mom. Her dad's never been in the picture. And so a lot of my early adult life was just about survival, just like work hard and survive. So the whole traveling thing was it's new to me. I've always had this burning desire. But it was new for me to think that maybe I could do some of these things. So some of the things that I've done off of my list was I stayed at the Giraffe Manor Hotel in Nairobi, Africa. That was the number one thing on my list. I hiked Machu Picchu. I kissed at the top of the London Eye. I explored the Galapagos Islands, and I went to Burning Man, and I swam in a fountain in Budapest, and things like that. So anyways, I can remember like seeing the movie The Bucket List and just really feeling intimidated by that and thinking only rich people could do those things. And now I watched the movie The Bucket List a few months ago, and I've done a lot of the things on the list. So I feel like at one point the things on the list started looking for me. And I know that sounds a little bit woo-woo, but I had so many crazy synchronicities in my life that were things on my list. And I felt like I was kind of like in life's flow, like in this magnetic flow where one thing would just lead me to the next thing, and again, some crazy synchronicities. So the list absolutely changed me. And then something else kind of cool happened, which was my van. So I wasn't expecting this. My friend Yvonne created the van, and she finished it and decided she liked her other camper better. It's bigger and it's really cool. So she called me up and she's like, do you want to buy my van? And at first I wasn't too sure, but then I went and stayed in it for the weekend. She invited me to come up and go camping with her, and I fell in love with it. Like, some people bond with their vehicles. I haven't bonded with a vehicle in a really long time, but I have totally bonded with this vehicle. I love driving it. Like, I have a 2016 Subaru Forester. It has literally been parked in the driveway with a cover on it for months. I drive this van everywhere. And, before COVID, when we could still go to restaurants, one of my favorite things was to valet park it at the restaurants and just see the reactions. So anyways, I've been doing some traveling in my van, which I love. So I've landed myself at a campground in Missouri, and I decided to stay here for a while. In fact, I bought the campground. So I worked with my daughter on a couple of real estate deals this summer. She's a real estate agent. We bought some properties and we flipped them, and we did okay on those. So we took that money and bought this campground. So the campground is 33 acres. It's on a river. It has 2 houses on it, and needs lots and lots and lots of love / work. So how I got my black eye was working at the campground. There were picnic tables scattered everywhere and just rotten wood, and they hadn't been painted in years. So my nephew was helping me do some yard work, and he stacked the picnic tables over by the shed, and I decided I'm going to paint the picnic tables today. So I go over and I'm unstacking the picnic tables, and one of them slipped and clipped me right there in the eye. So maybe you can still see the remnants of that black eye. But so that's what I've been doing. I've been not traveling in my van for a minute, although I sleep in it a bunch. I love it. And I've been working on this campground, like revamping it. My intention is to have 4 Airbnbs up and running in the next couple of months. One of the Airbnbs we call the Rustic Rose. It's pink and gold and really a wow, like gaudy gold, and like pink ceilings and pink walls and pink bedding and pink dishes, like everything. So people walk in the door and they just stand there for a minute and look around, and they're like, wow. And that's exactly the response that we want. And then the second Airbnb is a gypsy wagon. So the gypsy wagon was pretty much a blank slate when I got it, but I've had a lot of fun in there painting it. I'll post some before and after pictures on my Instagram. And the idea with that one is to build a little deck around it and put a clawfoot bathtub, out there, and an outdoor kitchen and bathroom and shower. And then the third and fourth Airbnbs, we're putting up a couple of teepees. So one we call the Posh Pony, and the other one is the Hip Hawk. And we're gonna put nice furniture in there, and I have my favorite mattresses. So we're gonna put nice bedding and just really try to create a glamping type experience. So you can come and be in nature and experience the outdoors, but be really comfortable, at the end of the day when it's bedtime. So that's what I'm up to here at the campground. My intention is to be here for another couple of months. Once these Airbnbs are up and running, and I feel comfortable, my daughter's my property manager, I feel comfortable that she can take care of everything, then I'm going to hit the road again, get back in my van. I have 7 states still left to check off, so my intention is to go check off all of those states and have an adventure. I'm ready. In a way, the whole COVID thing has been interesting because I absolutely would not have satin still. Satin, is that a word? I absolutely wouldn't have sit still. Hi, Loretta. And okay, let me get my thoughts back together here again. So I wouldn't have been still for this long. So it's been good for me to be still. It's been good for me to work on the campground. It's been good for me to to help my daughter with all of this. And I think we're creating something really special. And so anyway, that's my that's my video for today. Thanks for watching. Please hit the thumbs up, leave me a comment. I'm thinking future videos we could tour the Rustic Rose, we could tour we could tour the gypsy wagon, I could show you around my campground, and maybe another video I'll talk more about my crazy bucket list that I love so much. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.